Whenever we talk about empaths in the context of narcissistic abuse, we usually mention super empaths, awakened empaths, stoic empaths, and supernova empaths. But there are certain types of powerful empaths that nobody talks about in this field. Yet I guarantee you're one of these empaths. And that is what sets you apart. I always say, narcissists come after your light because they see you as a threat. There is something in you they want to perish, they want to destroy, because you have something that I call a spiritual gift, which is what turns a relationship with them into a spiritual war. They want to extinguish you because you are special and not in a narcissistic way. You have something that makes them feel smaller in comparison. And today, I will prove it to you. I'm Danish, a narcissistic abuse recovery professional. Welcome to my channel. I guarantee that you're one of these empaths, so stay until the very end to find out. Before we get started, here is a small announcement. I'm doing a training on master co-parenting with a narcissist next month. If you're dealing with a monster in this capacity and you have to think about nurturing your children properly, dealing with them in the court, so on and so forth, book your spot right now at an early bird price and I'll definitely help you out. Link is in the description. Number one, precognitive empath. A precognitive empath possesses the extraordinary ability to perceive future events before they actually happen. This is not about making educated guesses. I'm not talking about that, or reading patterns. This is not about probability. This is about receiving clear, specific information about things that have not occurred yet through various channels like vivid dreams, sudden intense visions, or an overwhelming inner knowing that something is about to unfold. These empaths experience what I call future flashes. They may suddenly see a complete scenario play out in their mind's eye, receive detailed dreams that later manifest in reality, or get hit with an intense physical sensation accompanied by knowledge of an upcoming event. And the information comes through so clearly and specifically that it's impossible to dismiss as coincidence once it happens. What makes precognitive empaths particularly unique is that their ability intensifies during times of stress or danger. It's as if their nervous system becomes so finely tuned to potential threats that it begins assessing information from beyond the present moment. This gift typically develops or strengthens significantly after experiencing narcissistic abuse, as the constant need to predict and prepare for the next attack heightens your intuitive radar to supernatural levels. Let me give you my personal examples. The first one is once I was in a cab going somewhere, right, with my mother. Just minutes before an accident happened, I got this very sharp panic in my body and a very clear vision of what was going to happen. And just within a few seconds, that thing happened exactly as I saw it. I was shocked. Another example, I had a very vivid dream of my cousin's sister cutting her little finger. I saw it clearly. I saw her finger bleeding. Next day, lo and behold, my sister, while helping with household chores, cut her little finger in the same exact manner because a glass broke in her hand and she needed stitches. I've had multiple experiences like this, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. If you are a precognitive empath, you may have dreams that come true, get sudden flashes of future events, or have an unexplainable knowing about what's going to happen to people around you. This ability develops as a survival mechanism after narcissistic abuse, as I explained earlier. Your system becomes hyper vigilant to predict danger before it strikes, and eventually, this vigilance expands beyond immediate physical threats to encompass future events in general. Number two, weather or earth empath. This type of an empath is so in sync with the environment that they immediately sense and react to environmental changes. They're easily affected by weather patterns and often suffer from environmental allergies, respiratory issues, and skin related problems because they are really sensitive and attuned to the environment. They can feel if it's about to rain hours before it happens. I've seen it. They know when the weather is going to majorly shift or when there is going to be a storm coming. Their body literally becomes a barometer for environmental changes. You may notice your mood shifting with the weather, feeling restless before earthquakes, or getting physical symptoms before major weather events. This sensitivity intensifies after narcissistic abuse, as in the earlier case, because your nervous system becomes so finely tuned to sensing threats and changes in your environment. The constant state of hyper anxiety, hyper arousal extends beyond people to the very air, atmosphere, and earth around you. Number three, physical empath. These are empaths who absorb and feel others' physical pain, symptoms, and illnesses directly in their own body. They do not just sense emotional energy, they literally take on physical sensations, pain, and even diseases from people around them. This sounds crazy. I would have never believed it had I not personally experienced this. I was not only psychologically trauma bonded to my mother or attached to her, I was also her pain carrier. I would put my hand on her body and feel if she was paining somewhere, if there was a stomach ache, her leg hurting, and I would tell her, "Are you all right? Is your arm doing fine? I feel like there's something going on in your body." And she would tell me, "Yes, it feels so painful right now." That was not a lie because I've tested it so many times with different people. I would feel these things somehow in my own body. Then I would naturally place my hands on her leg or wherever the pain was. I could not explain how, still cannot, but I would literally take the pain into my body. I would almost collapse for a few minutes from the intensity. Then I would be fine again. The other person would be completely okay afterward. To this day, if I'm really close to someone, I can tell if their body is hurting or not just by being near them. This explains why my mother felt totally collapsed when I left, because I also took that pain barrier away from her. She had become dependent on my ability to absorb her physical suffering. Physical empaths become unwilling healers in toxic relationships, constantly draining themselves to relieve other people's pain. This is one of those gifts that you bring into the narcissist's life. They're given an incredible chance to be healed and supported, but they lose it because they just become jealous of what you have instead of using it, instead of appreciating this rare ability, they exploit it until you are completely depleted. Number four, dream empath. These empaths receive incredibly detailed intuitive messages, guidance, and prophetic visions through their dreams and sleep states. Their dreams are not just random images or subconscious processing. They are receiving actual information about future events, people's true intentions, and solutions to complex problems. Dream empaths experience dreams that are so vivid and realistic that they feel more like memories than dreams. They may dream about conversations that have not happened yet, see future events playing out in detail. This looks like the precognitive empath, but it's slightly different because they also really receive symbolic messages for guidance in real life situations. Many dream empaths keep journals because the information they receive is so accurate and valuable. After narcissistic abuse, this ability intensifies dramatically. Your subconscious mind becomes incredibly active, working to process the trauma while also providing guidance for healing and moving forward. You may start having dreams about people's hidden motives, seeing through deception even while you sleep, or receiving step by step guidance about important life decisions. What makes dream empaths particularly threatening to narcissists is that dreams cannot be manipulated or gaslit. When you are receiving clear information through your dreams, it becomes much harder for someone to convince you that your reality is not real. The narcissist cannot control what you see and learn while you're sleeping, which makes this gift both powerful and dangerous to their control. Number five, animal empath. These empaths have an extraordinary ability to communicate with and understand animals on an intuitive level. They can sense animals' needs, emotions, physical pain, and even their thoughts. Animals are naturally drawn to them, often approaching them without fear. Even wild animals that typically avoid humans. Animal empaths can calm stressed animals just by being present. They know when an animal is sick before any physical symptoms appear. They can sense what an animal is trying to communicate, understanding their needs, fears, and desires in ways that seem almost telepathic. Many animal empaths find themselves naturally gravitating toward careers working with animals or becoming passionate advocates for animal rights. There are countless documented cases online, you can look them up, of people who demonstrate these abilities. You will find stories of individuals who can communicate with horses, calm aggressive dogs instantly, or sense when animals are in distress from great distances. Some animal empaths report having actual conversations with animals, receiving detailed information about their past experiences, health conditions, or emotional states. This gift also emerges or becomes stronger when you're going through narcissistic abuse because animals represent something that was missing in the toxic relationship. What's that? Pure, unconditional love without manipulation. Animals do not lie, gaslight, or have hidden agendas. They offer the authentic connection and honest emotional exchange that was absent in the abusive relationship. Number six, telepathic empath. These empaths possess the ability to read people's actual thoughts and unspoken emotions with startling accuracy. They pick up on mental energy and hidden intentions, knowing exactly what someone is thinking before they speak. This goes beyond reading body language or facial expressions. They're literally tuning into the mental frequency of others. Telepathic empaths will finish people's sentences, answer questions before they are fully asked, or respond to thoughts that were never voiced out loud. They can sense when someone is lying, not just by their behavior, but by the contradiction between their spoken words and their actual thoughts. They pick up on internal conflicts, hidden motivations, and secret agendas that people work hard, really hard to conceal. This ability typically develops as a direct survival mechanism during narcissistic abuse. When you are living with someone who is constantly saying one thing but means another, who hides their true intentions behind a convincing mask, your psyche develops the ability to read beyond the surface. You learn to sense the real thoughts behind the fake smile, the actual intentions behind the loving words, the true feelings behind the performance. As a telepathic empath, you may doubt your ability because it seems too incredible to be real. You may second guess yourself. You may wonder if you're just being paranoid, but you have to believe yourself, your intuitive readings, because they prove to be accurate. You can sense when somebody is planning to leave before any signs are visible. You can sense if somebody is lying about their feelings. You can pick up on hidden resentments that eventually surface in explosive ways. So, this is what makes you different, and you gotta own that. That's your authentic self. Number seven, Hika empath. This one you may have heard about. These empaths act as spiritual mirrors to trigger healing and self reflection in others. They challenge conventional norms and can make people really uncomfortable by reflecting back their shadow aspects. Hyoka empaths emerge from narcissistic abuse because they have learned to see through facades and illusion. They have an uncanny ability to make people face their own contradictions, lies, and self deceptions. This is why narcissists particularly target Heyoka empaths because they cannot maintain their false image around them. If you are a Heyoka empath, people may tell you that you make them think deeply about themselves, that you challenge them in unexpected ways, or that being around you forces them to confront aspects of themselves they would rather ignore. This is your gift. You help people heal by showing them their truth. Number 8, and the last one, intuitive empath. These empaths have heightened psychic abilities, including clairvoyance, clear seeing, clear sentience, clear feeling, clear audience, clear hearing, and clear cognizance, clear knowing. They receive information through multiple intuitive channels and have an uncanny ability to know things without being told. Intuitive empaths develop these abilities like other empaths because of narcissistic abuse. When your reality is constantly being distorted and you're being gaslit, right? Your intuitive abilities naturally sharpen to help you discern truth from lies. You learn to trust your inner knowing eventually over external manipulation. This kind of an empath may get sudden downloads of information, hear guidance in their mind, see energy around people, or simply know things about situations without any logical explanation. This comprehensive intuitive ability helps you navigate a world where deception and manipulation are extremely common. Now, if you recognize yourself in one or more of these empath types, understand that this is not random. These are gifts. These are abilities that were forged in the fire of narcissistic abuse. They developed as survival mechanisms to help you navigate manipulation, deception, and emotional warfare. The narcissist targeted you precisely because of these gifts. They could sense your heightened awareness, your ability to see through their facade, your connection to truth and honesty. So they waged a war against you because you possessed something they could never have: genuine spiritual and empathetic abilities. You must remember your sensitivity is not a weakness, it's not a curse. It's your superpower if you own it properly, if you heal yourself, because these abilities emerged from your pain and now are your greatest strengths. Which type of empath are you? Let me know in the comments. And with that, let's bring this episode to an end. Thank you so much for listening. I will talk to you in the next one. Until then, as always, let the healing begin and continue.